सबका स्वागत है। ये है आपका कंप्लीट रिमोट जॉब ट्रेनिंग सॉल्यूशन।
Hey there, and welcome to TTA Academy. So, you're looking to become a top notch transcriber for the Poly Project? Well, you have come to the exact right place. We are about to break down everything you need to know. Okay, let's get right into it. Your mission is pretty straightforward, but super important. You're going to take raw audio, look at what the AI thinks it heard, and then transform it into a perfectly accurate transcript. And don't worry, we're going to show you how to do all of it, from the moment you log in to tackling some of those really tricky audio clips. First things first, before you can do anything else, you've got to actually get into the system, right? So let's quickly cover how to log in and get your hands on your very first task. It's a super simple three-step deal. First, just head over to start-annotation.apple.com. Then you'll log in with the EV account you were given. And finally, look for that Start Grading button and give it a click. Boom. Just like that, the system will hand you your first task. So you're in. You've got a task sitting right there on your screen. Now what? Well, this is where the real work begins. We're about to dive into the core workflow. This is the bread and butter of the project, the process you're going to follow for every single audio clip you get. Okay, so there are 4 key steps here. Listen, identify the speaker, evaluate the quality, and then, and only then, do you verify and correct. Following these in order is absolutely crucial. Seriously. For example, if you listen to the whole clip first, you get the context. That's going to save you from making silly mistakes later on. It's all about being accurate and efficient. Now, while you're listening, you need to have your detective ears on for a few common problems. Stuff like, is the audio super unclear or staticky? Is there a really heavy accent that's tough to understand? Maybe it's not even the right language. Or maybe there are multiple people talking over each other. You'll see some checkboxes over on the right for all of these things. Just tick anything that applies. This is a really, really important point. Your goal is to correct, not to change the speaker's intent. Think of yourself as a restorer, not a ghostwriter. So, if the AI gives you going to the store, your job is to clean it up to what was actually said, I'm going to the store. See? You're filling in the gaps, adding the missing I'm, fixing the word, but, and this is a big but, you are not correcting their grammar. If the person says something that isn't grammatically perfect, you write down exactly what they said. Okay, fixing obvious stuff is one thing. But what about those times when you listen to a clip over and over and you can't figure out what's being said? For those moments, you have a couple of super important tools in your toolkit, manual tags. The first one, and probably the one you'll use the most, is the tag. I want you to think of this as your I'm not going to guess button. It's your best friend when you hit a word or a whole phrase and you genuinely have no idea what they said. That leads to the big question. When do you actually use this thing? You don't want to overuse it, but you definitely need to use it when it's right. The rules are pretty specific, so let's walk through them so you know exactly when to pull this tool out. You'll definitely want to use it for things like unintelligible or mumbled words. You know, when someone just trails off into a mumble. Or for foreign words you don't recognize. It's also for all those little filler words, the ums and uhs of the world. Stuttering, too. And here's a big one. If more than half of what the person says is just total gibberish, don't try to be a hero and figure it out. Just tag the entire thing as unsure. Knowing when not to use it is just as critical. Listen up. If you can hear a word perfectly clearly, but you're just not sure how to spell it, like a weird brand name or something, do not use this tag. That's what a quick web search is for. Remember, the tag is for when you can't hear it, not when you can't spell it. And of course, don't use it for stuff like coughs, sneezes, or background music. That's not speech. All right, tool number 2, the truncated tag. Now, this one is super specific. It has one job and one job only, to mark a word that gets cut off because the audio recording starts or stops right in the middle of it. So, what's the official definition of truncated? When does a word actually count as being cut off? The difference can be a little subtle, but nailing it is really important for the quality of the project. It's actually pretty simple. You only use it for a word that's cut off right at the beginning of the audio or a word that's cut off right at the very end. So if the clip starts and you hear, because I was late, you tag that as truncated because I was late. Or if it ends with, I was on my way, you tag it as I was on my truncated way. It has to be the audio file itself that's doing the cutting. Now, here's where people can get tripped up. Do not use this tag if the speaker just stops talking on their own. If they say, well, I guess I'll just, and then they stop, That's not truncated, they just trailed off. The audio file itself has to be the culprit. And if the last word is fully pronounced, even if the audio cuts off a millisecond later, it's not truncated. The word has to be incomplete. Now, this is an interesting one. What happens when you're working on, say, a Hindi audio clip and the speaker starts throwing in English words? This happens all the time, and there are some very specific rules for how to handle it. When you're dealing with English popping up in other languages, I want you to burn one number into your brain. Just one. And that number is 5. And here's how that rule of 5 works. If you hear 5 or fewer English words in a row, no problem. Just transcribe them exactly as you hear them. But the moment you hear more than 5 consecutive English words, you stop. You do 2 things. First, you check that incorrect language box. Second, you just use a single blank unsure tag to cover that whole chunk of English. That's it. So what about those sentences that are a mix of languages, like Hinglish? The rule is simple. If you're confident you know what they said, just transcribe the mix as it is. But if there's just one English word in that mix that you're not sure about, you don't have to throw out the whole sentence. Just put an unsure tag around that one specific word. Okay, you have listened, you have corrected, you have tagged. You've done all the heavy lifting. But hold on, before you hit that submit button, we have to do one last thing. Think of it like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. It's your final quality check. Seriously, just take 10 seconds to run through this list. Did I mark all the audio quality issues? Yep. Is the transcription totally accurate? Check. Is my punctuation and capitalization on point? Yep. Are all my tags used correctly? Check. And most importantly, did I keep the speaker's original meaning intact? Check. A quick run-through like this can catch little mistakes and makes a huge difference. Look, we know that once you get started, questions are going to pop up. It's totally normal. So please, if you get stuck or you're just not sure about something, don't just guess. Reach out. The TTA Academy support team is here to help you out. Just shoot them an email at ttlmhelp@gmail.com. And that's the whole shebang. From the moment you log in to listening to that final quality check, you now have the fundamental skills you need to knock it out of the park on the Poly Project. So, I guess there's only one thing left to ask. Are you ready to put those expert listening skills to the test?
Thank you for watching our tutorial.
मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक अपना ख्याल रखें, टेक केयर, हैप्पी टास्किंग।